episode of Joseph Bartlett's Talk Show. We've got a very interesting group today. We have Candy in Property Management.
Good morning.
Allison from Chase Apartment Lending. Cory from doing a 1031 exchange information. And then we have Janice, who is a new grandmother, and Lisa, who is the gatekeeper for the entire operation. So let's start with you, Candy. What is going on in the property management world?
Well, good morning. I'm Candy, and I'm with Ambassador Property Management. And I thought I would like to talk a little bit about what we do for our owners. I'm going to try to keep it really short and sweet here. But basically what we do is we collect our owners. If it's and I'll talk about our services. If it's a home, we charge 8% of all monies collected. So I try not to take any money out of your pocket. Our units are usually about 6%, and that's again on all monies collected. So I like to stress that. So if we don't collect rents, we don't get paid. So my motivation is there to make sure I get the right tenant for the right home. I don't spend any of the owner's money without their approval, so that's a real pet peeve of mine. I like to kind of keep them incorporated into my services. We do 2 interior inspections a year to make sure the structure and their investments being taken care of. I also do all the vendor calls. So if there's something needed to be done, we call vendors. We will use the owner's vendors, but I have a really nice team that have really quality skills and good prices. And last but not least, our statements, really important, is to get the statement on a monthly basis with all rents included, my fees included, any vendors, and then a year end at the end of the year.
Compared to a year ago, easier or harder to collect rents, or about the same?
You know what is really good is we have a really nice system going on. We have a wonderful team.
So same?
It is the same, yes.
Excellent.
There
Allison,
are your...
What's going on in the in mortgage world for apartments?
Well, it's a good time to be an apartment owner. So Chase is really making cash available to clients. So if you're in the market to purchase an apartment building, we offer very attractive purchase financing. And also if you're looking to refinance a building to either just lower your interest rate, secure in a long-term fixed rate, or pull cash out to buy another investment, a lot of investors are taking advantage of that right now.
Are you seeing refinances? Are you seeing people pulling cash out? What are apartment owners doing right now from a big picture point of view? Do you see any trends?
I mean, we're really seeing a little bit of everything depending on what the investor needs are, but I think that we're seeing a lot of people who even financed their buildings as recently as 3-4 years ago coming back in right now to not only lock in that longer term fixed rate, but also to pull cash out to buy other investments.
So you're seeing more fixed product versus adjustable?
Absolutely.
And where are rates headed compared to a year ago, or?
Well, considering that the bank's been wrong for a few years in a row here with our predictions, we'll just hope that eventually we're right. You know, we all know that rates are going up. The question is when and how fast.
But they were predicting they'd go up, and they haven't.
Rates have really remained relatively flat. So again, I think that we all know that, you know, at some point in time we are going to see rates go up. You know, when and how fast is anybody's guess. But I think that if, you know, the certainty of what you can get today is definitely worth taking a look to make sure you lock in something for the future.
So Cory, I get my loan from Allison. I buy a property. Candy manages it. Then I sell it, and I don't want to pay capital gains. I 1031. I give you the money, right?
Well, you give it. I work as a broker, so I'd help you find the right properties to place that money in, and we specialize in management-free income properties. And so really right now the trends we're seeing are a trend back from the counter-cyclical markets because we specialize in properties across the country, but investors can move their money from markets that have done really well that we recommended at their counter-cyclical peak, places like Denver, Colorado, or Utah, or North Carolina, and now move them into cyclical markets. And although we love places like Southern California and California in general for apartments, there are markets that provide better income and still have I think a bigger window of appreciation and inflation in both.
What's one market like that right now today?
Right now, you know, Florida is one of our top markets. That's where I've been investing, and a lot of our investors have also been going. It doesn't have the high-tech industry that, say, Southern California or, of course, Northern California and the Bay Area have, or Austin, Texas, but it does have the growth. It has the in-migration, and it has the job growth, and you have a lot of hedge funds and other industries moving down to Florida. So Florida really, their window of appreciation and inflation is smaller, and their recovery started later, but they're really at a good stage of growth.
So give me a range. If I sell my 30-unit building in Anaheim,
Yes.
and U.S. Bank's going to give me 1.5% to tie my money up for a decade,
Yes.
and my pillow, under my pillow, gives me nothing. What's a range, mid-size risk if I 1031 my money into something you're going to do in Florida for me?
A range would be at the low end for Class A urban infill, brand new apartment complex. You're looking at a low of 5%, and the range really for, say, Class B apartments or for net lease properties, industrial. We pretty much stay away from retail at this point, especially big box retail. But for all the other asset classes, the range is between 5 and 7% net cash on cash return, and of course you're entitled to all your share of the depreciation and other expenses.
Stay tuned for Cory's information. Now, the most important thing with my clients, Janice, is Howard Jarvis and grandkids. So you're here as a new grandmother.
Yay.
What's that like?
It's the best. You know, the Eastern Indians, a friend of mine who's Eastern Indian, he said that is the greatest promotion in life, to be a grandparent.
That's beautiful.
And I agree. I am so excited and happy.
This is your first.
It's my first.
I think a lot of my viewers probably are on their 16th or 17th grandchild.
Oh.
But what's the best part of it?
What a blessing. Oh my gosh, I'm just entering it. So far, just holding that little bundle is the best. She's only a week old, so I don't know. I haven't gone into it yet, but I'm loving every bit of it.
This is off the record, so don't videotape this. But I think a lot of my clients, they kind of messed up on their kids, or the kids aren't perfect, or the kids didn't fit the exact expectation that they wanted. But the grandkids are a blank slate. So I think that's why they love their grandkids a lot. Thank you. And Lisa is the gatekeeper for the entire operation. What do we have going on at the office that's new and exciting?
Well, there's a thorough MLS search for buyers. So if you give me your criteria, the MLS will send you apartment buildings for sale by email. And we can search for price, cities, number of units, even beachfront, or for a certain street name. If you own on Pickering, you might want to continue to buy on Pickering. The MLS can email you once a month or every 3 hours if a new listing becomes available. I cannot search for a good deal. So
It's not a criteria in
it's not
MLS.
a criteria.
Good deal.
Don't
Under
ask me
market.
for a good deal. But call me and I can set it up for you with any criteria you'd like.
Okay. Well, listen, what we have in mind is this is just tip of the iceberg. So what I'd like you to do, if you're interested in information on anything, including advice for new grandparents, I'd like you to contact these individuals directly. They're experts in their field, and they'd be more than happy to provide information. So let's start with Candy. How do we get a hold of you?
On my office number, area code 562-236-0102. Hope to hear from you.
Give us your email address, too.
It's C Livesey, L-I-V as in Victor, E-S-E-Y, at Ambassador Property Management is mgmt.com.
If someone has a question, a client, they just have a question, they can call you and pick your brain?
Oh, I'd love that.
Excellent. Allison, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, my direct office line is area code 949-833-4867. And my email address is alison.ramsey, that's ALISON.RAMSEY @chase.com.
And same thing, if they have a loan with someone else, they can pick your brain as to whether they should refinance it or keep it, or you give them some honest advice
Right,
on
or
that.
if you're looking at any acquisition opportunities and you want an idea of how much you can expect on a loan, I'm happy to do that. If you have a Chase loan and you want me to take a look at that and see if we can refinance it, or of course, refinance another loan or a property you own free and clear that you're interested in taking cash out on.
And we all took a vote, we're all gonna ask you for a loan after the show.
No problem.
So. Cory, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, my direct line is 888-295-1031,
And my email is Cory, CORY, at IPA1031group.com.
So Cory, same thing. If I have my property in escrow and I have my eye on different options, would you be able to analyze those and give me like a Excel spreadsheet or a comparison as to, and if something's better, you'd be, hey, that's better than what I have.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. So we could analyze your options, let you know which ones are, what your required loan to value is, how to meet that if on your 1031 exchange, and also help you diversify into multiple properties and markets that we think will do best.
And Janice just wrote a book, and she's going on a speaking tour on how to be a good grandmother.
Yeah, you can find me through Lisa.
We'll ask you questions too. Lisa, how do we get hold of you?
562-236-0088.
And your email address?
lweeber, WEE, B as in boy, ER, @gmail.com.
So come up with the criteria, and then tell you exactly that criteria, and you'll send us emails every 3 hours. It's kind of creepy. Hey, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month.